Good morning. We're just going to give folks a minute to come in from the waiting room. As a reminder, please do mute yourself when you are entering unless you are appearing or testifying before the board. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board of the city of Boston. Today is Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to changes in the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing will be recorded and posted on the city's website afterwards. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman Kathleen Joyce.
Good morning, my name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm chair of the Boston Licensing Board, and today I'm joined by Commissioner Liam Curran and Commissioner Kiana Saxon.
Thank you. And as an additional reminder, please mute yourself unless you are appearing or testifying before the board. Please also ensure that your visuals are working properly. I will call each item in the order that it appears in the agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the applicant. You will then make a brief presentation regarding your proposal, followed by questions by the chair and commissioners. Following the questions, there will be testimony beginning with elected officials or their representatives. Please limit your testimony to 2 minutes, and please state your name, address, and affiliation, if any, while you are testifying. Now calling the first item on today's agenda, Life Changing Nutrition LLC, doing business as Life Changing Nutrition, located at 724 Dudley Street in Dorchester, has applied for a common victualer's license to be exercised on the above in 2 rooms on the first floor, kitchen in the rear, and storage on the side, bathrooms separated by a wall. Manager Josenilda Alves, hours of operation 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Yes, Josenilda Alves, I'm here.
Great, you may go ahead.
Can you see me? I'm like a little bit.
I think your camera's off.
Yep, we can hear you. Your screen is black right now.
Oh God. What about now?
No, but we can continue if you want to tell us what you're proposing at this location.
Okay, so I'm being in this community for like at least 20 years. The name of the business is Life Changing Nutrition. The reason is because I'm being around, and I want to help my community with healthy choices. And the choices is the juices that give people like choices to have healthy breakfast, shakes and drinks that people can have like a good energy in the morning, and also being a good environment for the community. And that's the plan I have, and being on the community for the 20 years. So I really want to help the community being healthy is life changing. So I want to change my community with this drinking healthy breakfast in the morning, and and bring good energy, because the energy is inside there is going to be positive for my community.
Thank you very much for explaining that. Will you have any seating inside, or is it just a walk up and order?
Just a takeout.
Just takeout, okay. And are you planning to operate 7 days a week?
Yes, but in the beginning, yes.
7 days from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
Correct.
Thank you very much. I don't have any further questions, Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you?
No, thank you.
Thanks.
Great. Are there any individuals who would like to testify, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Jason Gant from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We'd like to go on record in support of this proposal, and a butters meeting was held on November 16th, in which the applicant sufficiently answered all questions and concerns raised by the community. I do just want to highlight that they have made a commitment to make sure that they continue to work with the community and keep the storefront clean. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Now calling item number 2, Sonder Hospitality USA Inc., located at 234 Newbury Street, has applied for an in-holder license to be exercised on the above 4-story building, floor 1 entrance, floor 2 4 private rooms with private bathrooms, access to terrace, Floor 3, 4 private rooms with private bathrooms. Floor 4, 4 private rooms with 4 private bathrooms. Manager Greg Klein. Who is present on behalf of the applicant?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Attorney Jeff Drago with Drago and Toscano with the business address of 11 Beacon Street. I also have the manager of record, Greg Klein, available on the call as well. As was mentioned, I'm here on behalf of Sonder, and we are seeking to acquire an in-holder license from the licensing board for a building located at 234 Newbury Street in Boston. The location is zoned for a hotel use. We currently have a permit that has already been pulled through inspectional services for this use, and if so approved, would commence construction of the interior. Just to go over the layout of the building, on the first floor, there is an existing restaurant called the Shake Shack that's open till 10 p.m. and that will be made available to the patrons of the hotel, and that will be convenient. We would work with our residents to encourage them to go down and use the facility as well for food. The main entrance, vestibule, and a private lift for handicap ADA accessibility will all be housed on the first floor. This is a boutique hotel, so there would be second, third, and fourth floor. In total, there would be 12 rooms. These would be built out to house 4 persons maximum in each one of the hotel units. They would have bathroom and no stove, but small kitchen area with just a refrigerator and a microwave just to heat up food or to keep things cold. There would also be on the second floor an office studio space for management where they could be housed and they could spend the night with a small area for them to have storage and also to conduct business within the building. The facility will have cameras both on the inside and the outside, and private security that would be checking on the building during the nighttime hours. Sonder Hospitality is a worldwide hospitality company. They manage 50 hotels around the world, and they do have one locally in the Cambridge area that they manage currently right now. They also have a 24/7, 365 days a year call center for any issues that may come up. They have a full staff, a manager that would be on call and would be on site in the daytime hours with staff. And they are within minutes of being contacted in the Boston area. I can pause now and answer any questions. Oh, just to point out, we did meet with, we had an abutter meeting where we did get support for local members of the community, and we did meet with the neighborhood association of the Back Bay, in which we received a letter of non-opposition. I can pause now to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you. Where is Mr. Klein? Oh, I see him. He's down the bottom.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I do have some questions. It sounds like from the presentation that an on-site manager is only there during the day.
They'd be
That's
on,
correct.
oh, sorry.
No, go on, Jeff.
So there'd be, in the day, there would be staff, Madam Chair, and then at night, there's multiple managers that manage the Boston properties. So someone would be within minutes away from a call center call at any time.
How many staff during the day?
We have 13 full-time staff that are employed by Sonder, and then we have third parties that we use to help with the cleaning that are also on site.
How many staff working in this building during the day?
It would depend on like the moment of the day. We could have 1, we could have 3. It really depends on what's happening. But you know, in general, we've got a team of 13 locally that cover you know, a few different buildings.
So is it correct to say there would always be a person on site during the day? At least one person? That's what it sounds like you're saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you're certain though.
No, there's like the person who would be on site might change, but there would be somebody there. It's, we have different needs for different buildings, whether it's, somebody there from the team that does a maintenance call or somebody from housekeeping or a manager. We have somebody who would likely be on site during the day.
So if I rented a room at this hotel, how do I check in?
Yeah, so if you were to rent a room, you would get you would rent a room through Expedia.com. You would get the check-in confirmation. After you got that, you would then be asked to go through a series of security protocols. So the first thing you would do is you would input your credit card information, and that would be verified as like a correct credit card. Then the second thing you would do is you would upload your photo ID, both front and back, government issued ID, and that would be scanned into the system. And then the third thing you do would actually do a facial scan to connect the photo ID with the person who's staying there. So that is all.
That sounds very common. So when I arrive at the hotel to check in, will I be meeting a human that is verifying that my face is the one I scanned? Or is this all done through camera and computer? I'm trying to get at whether or not there's an actual person there on site.
Correct. So it's all done through camera. It's all done through the camera and the software. We do have somebody on our end that is looking at the photo to connect it to the face. And then the person would get a code that would work at the front door and would work at their unit door that would only be associated with the time of their check-in.
Okay, so the 13 staff, and you said you do have security cameras inside and outside. Would you say that they're monitored regularly? Because we've had issues in other parts of the city where some of these lodging houses in Holder places have turned into locations where a lot of crime has happened because there aren't people on site.
Yeah, so we would have somebody on site. Like it wouldn't be the type of thing where we wouldn't have a Sonder staff member there for days on end. We would have Sonder staff member there every single day. The security would be probably trigger based. So if there was an event that required a security presence to be brought on site, that would happen immediately. I live in the Boston area and so does the rest of the 13 teams. So we would be brought in to inspect that immediately.
And sorry, Madam Chair, if I might add, the security, they use a security company that checks the perimeter of the building multiple times at night as well. So they're always close by monitoring all the buildings.
And what is the average price or cost to stay at this boutique hotel?
Yeah, so we price competitively to like a upper upscale hotel. So in Boston, our average price is right around $200 per night.
Okay. Okay. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Mayor, members of the board, Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Like Attorney Drago mentioned, there wasn't a butters meeting held, and they met with the Neighborhood Association of the Back Bay, who did give them a vote of or a letter of non-opposition. We just asked that they continue to work with the community going forward. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? I see a raised hand from Conrad Armstrong.
Conrad, representing from Marlborough Street, representing Neighborhood Association of Back Bay. The applicant met with us in March, and I'd like to go on record saying that NAB does not oppose this application.
Great. Thank you very much. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now calling item number 3, 570 Warren Street, LLC, located at 570 Warren Street in Dorchester, has applied for a lodging house license to be exercised on the above 2.5-story with 7 rooms on the first floor, 7 rooms on the second floor, 4 rooms on the third floor, full baths and office activity recreational room. Manager Peter McLaughlin, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Mark Lacasse, Lacasse Law, 75 Arlington Street in Boston, attorney for the applicant.
Thank you. You may go ahead.
Thank you so much. Good morning, members of the board. This is an application to essentially amend an existing lodging house license for this property, which has been a lodging house for many, many years. My client has owned the property since 2013. The current license is for 9 lodgers and 1 manager occupant. In February of 2020, we received approval from the Zoning Board of Appeal to change the occupancy and extend the non-conforming use to 17 lodgers and 1 manager occupant. Since that time, significant renovations have been conducted to this property, and we have received a certificate of occupancy from ISD based upon the permit and the Zoning Board of Appeal approval that was issued on September 10 of 2021. And we've also received a certificate of inspection from ISD on September 10 of 21 as well. The configuration of the property is that there are 7 rooms on the first floor and 2 bathrooms and a kitchen. On the second floor, there are 7 bedrooms, 2 full baths and a kitchen. And on the top floor of the property, there are 4 rooms and an office and a activity room for the residents of the house. So that is a total of 18 rooms, 5 full baths and 2 kitchens. We recently conducted an ONS sponsored abutter meeting on September 22nd, in addition to the extensive community review process that we undertook as part of our Zoning Board of Appeal proceeding, and there was no opposition from the community. In fact, they were enthusiastic with the renovations that have been conducted to the property and the way this house has been run for many, many years. With that, I will conclude my presentation and take any questions.
Thank you. Attorney Lacasse, I'm sorry, I missed. How many years have they been operating at this location as a lodging house?
My client acquired the property in 2013, so they've run it for 8 years, but it's my understanding that this lodging house has served in that function for decades. It's always been a lodging house.
Okay, and is Mr. McLaughlin, has he joined us today?
He is. Peter McLaughlin is with us as well.
I don't see him.
I did see him in the participant section.
I see him. He just waved his hand.
Oh, I see him now. Thank you for joining us, Mr. McLaughlin. So you're the manager. Do you live on site, or is it are you there during the day only? I think you're on mute.
There we go. I'm unmuted. We've had a management company manage the property for us.
What's the name of the management company?
Solutions Group.
And what is the average stay of a person at this lodging house?
You know, we have some folks that have been there for years, and some that turn over more frequently. So the average stay, I'd probably say, is about 5 or 6 months.
Okay. And the security measures that are in place, when do they have a key to the front door, then a key just to their own room?
Yes, there's a lot of security cameras throughout, inside and outside, and each one has their own key to the building and their own key to their room.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask my fellow commissioners if they have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
None at this time, thank you.
Nothing additional, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Jason Gant from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We'd like to go on record in support of this proposal and also note that Project Right has gone in support of this proposal as well, and you all should have that. If not, I can definitely make sure that I provide it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have received the letter from Project Right, and that's on file. Thank you.
Perfect.
Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Hearing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now calling item number 4, J.C. Batalf LLC, located at 169 St. Batalf Street, has applied for a lodging house license to be exercised on the above 4-story building, 4 rooms in the basement, 3 rooms on first floor, 3 rooms on second floor, 2 rooms on third floor. Manager Clifford Shorer, who is present on behalf of the applicant.
This is Cliff Shore. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you. You may go ahead, Mr. Shore.
Okay, I'm actually stopping my car, ironically. So I am the new owner as of last year of 169 St. Patol Street. And we discovered when we purchased the building that the prior lodging house license had been neglected for 10 years. The former owner was 94 years old and had been receiving notices and actually received a demand notice in 2021, which was not brought to our attention at the time of the purchase. And that demand notice addressed outstanding violations in the building, including a lack of a sprinkler system. So we bought the building, we immediately began the sprinkler system, we completed that sprinkler system, and the new water main was completed last week. The Boston Water and Sewer took about 5 months to do so. And we were asked to renew the lodging house license as the prior license had completely lapsed and been ignored. So we went back and investigated the zoning status. The building's been a lodging house since 1942. There's been 2 owners since 1942. The last time it was formalized was in 1972 and 78 when permits were pulled that stipulated the configuration of the building, which remains completely unchanged since that time. And again, we're really here to rectify neglect of the former owner in not renewing this license. Our average length of stay is very lengthy. We have some residents 6 to 10 years. We have some residents who are, shorter term, but I think the shortest term we see is about 6 months, which is usually a graduate student who's posted to Boston. And we also do quite a bit with medical treatments, folks that come to Boston for extended chemotherapy. We've had 2 or 3 of those because it's so close to the hospital. So anyway, this is really here to rectify the outstanding licensing issue, which was neglected by the former owner.
Thank you. I'm just looking at the agenda and it doesn't say in the description. Does each room have its own bathroom?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, and a small kitchenette. They're over 150 square feet each, and
Okay.
they've always had small kitchenettes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
None, thank you.
Great. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. The applicant met with the St. Patolf Neighborhood Association and received support from neighbors. And we just asked that he continues to be a good neighbor, keeping the facade clean and, making sure his tenants are also being good neighbors. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now calling item number 5, LaSalle Hotel Lessee Inc., doing business as Hyatt Boston Harbor, located at 101 Harborside Drive in East Boston. Holder of an in-holder all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Tracy R. Poole to John O'Connell. Attorney Carolyn Conway. Attorney Conway? She here? Is there anybody here on?
Sorry,
behalf-
but this is, I did
There
not
we go.
file this.
Oh,
That's why when I read my name, I was like, oh,
Hi, Wilfredo.
could
is
it
there
be
a
John
way
O'Connell?
we can get Lena Tremelli?
Lena's not here.
Who's the guy that, remember we had the Zoom meeting with the neighborhood?
Jesus. Was it
Okay.
Jesus? I'm speaking on behalf of him today, but he's not on this
He's in
meeting.
Florida? Okay.
I
Well,
apologize
you
to the
gotta-
board,
you
but I
gotta-
didn't
you could
even
Zoom.
know until I read this. I read the thing, I saw my name and I was like,
All
I
right.
didn't file this.
We'll just.
okay.
talk about it.
Thank you.
We could have the meeting.
Jean, could you put your phone on mute because we can hear your entire conversation? And just to get back to Attorney Conway, so do you think it's this isn't your application or your client?
Well, I have represented them in the past, but I did not file this particular application.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not sure how that.
But I will check on it and I'll get back to the board as soon as I can.
Is there anyone here who is associated with this application that would like for us to move forward with the hearing?
John O'Connell is present. I'm the manager of the Hyatt Regency Boston Harbor.
Great.
This is a renewal of our innkeeper's license, and we've just had a change of manager. So that's what this is all about.
So, Mr. O'Connell, you're the new manager of record?
That is correct.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the standard manager of record questions that we ask of every change of manager application before the board. Are you a citizen?
Yes, I am.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
I am.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes, I do.
Are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
All right, back to you, Danny.
Great. Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? None. Okay, hearing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Now calling item number 6, Toasted Brothers BB LLC, doing business as The Friendly Toast, located at 35 Stanhope Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Douglas Michael Peel to Jonathan Hayes. Attorney Jennifer Aioli. Is Attorney Aioli here? Is there anybody here present on behalf of The Friendly Toast?
Is Mr. Hayes here? Okay, take a second call.
Yep, we'll do a second call later. Thank you. Now calling item number 7, Tavern 103 Limited, located at 256 Freeport Street in Dorchester. Holder of a club all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from John Dumas to Robert S. Sheehan, who is present on behalf of the applicant. Is there anybody here on behalf of Tavern 103 Limited?
Good morning. This is Shang Yang. I'm the controller here at Tavern 103. I'm representing Tavern 103 regarding the change of the manager.
Great,
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Yang. Is your manager with us?
He's not.
Okay, so we can't move forward without your manager being with us. If you could either get in touch with him to join the Zoom,
Okay.
we can take you later.
Is it possible?
Yeah.
I can probably get him in three to 4 minutes. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
You'll have to wait till we come back, but we can't approve this change of manager unless he's with us.
Understand. So I'll have him join within 3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we can come
Thank you
back
very
out of
much.
order when he joins. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now calling item number 8, Super Target Liquor of Massachusetts, Inc., doing business as Target, located at 1345 Boylston Street. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned for a change of officers, directors of the corporation. Attorney Joseph Devlin. Attorney Devlin.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Elizabeth Pisano from Upton, Connell, and Devlin, counsel for Target. The licensee is seeking to change its officers and directors of the corporation. There are no other changes to the ownership structure, and there are no operational changes. And if it pleases the board, I can summarize the specific changes. So
go ahead.
Do you want me to summarize the specific?
In general, you can give us a summary. Yep.
We have Don Aldridge, Thomas Leach, and Ron Hodge. They are being replaced by Matthew Garrity, Ryan Brett, and Danielle Bean, and Sarah Rizakis, and that's all.
Okay, and no change of operations?
Nope.
Okay, I don't have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you?
None, thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with public officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Hearing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I do see that Robert Sheehan has just joined us. So we'll call number 7 again, Tavern 103 Limited at 256 Freeport Street, holder of a club alcoholic beverages license, petition to change the manager of the licensed business from John Dumas to Robert Sheehan, and who is present here on behalf of that applicant.
Hi, good morning.
Great. Good morning. You may go ahead, Mr. Sheehan.
So Mr. Sheehan, you're the new manager of record?
Yes, I'm sorry. Let me,
Thank you for joining us. We have to ask every application for a manager of record the same 4 standard questions. You need to be present to answer them.
yes,
Are you a citizen?
Yes, I am.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes, I am.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
I'm sorry?
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Just here at 103.
Okay, and are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you. I have no further questions. Commissioners, do you?
No, thanks.
No, thank
Thank
you.
you for joining us.
Great, thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Great, seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Sheehan, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now calling item 9, LLH LLC, doing business as Trader Joe's, located at 199 North Harvard Street in Alston. Holder of a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned for a change of officers directors of the corporation. Attorney Steve Everett. Attorney Everett.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Andrew Upton for Trader Joe's.
Great, you may go ahead, Attorney Upton.
This is just an officer change. Mr. Seeker is retiring. He's been replaced by Miss Ingram Anderson, a longtime management employee of Trader Joe's. There is no change to any element of the operations of the Trader Joe's store, the hours, the floor plan, any aspect of operation, just an officer change.
Thank you very much. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you?
And thank you.
Great. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Hearing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now calling item 10, Mitzos LLC, doing business as Crassy, located at 48 Gloucester Street. A holder of a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above. This item has already been heard and approved by the board. It is on the agenda today as a procedural matter to amend the named entity on the advertising notice and on the ABCC form and application. Attorney Louis Cassis is here if there are any questions from the chair or the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Chairman and members of the board. This is a procedural request to amend the previous application. As you know, you approved the application to CGK on Newbury LLC. When it went to the ABCC, we realized that prior to the application being filed, the lease had been in the name of the sister corporation, which is a restaurant in Malden with a non-alcoholic license. That is Crazy Good Kitchen LLC. So I amended the application to change the name of the applicant from CGK on Newbury LLC to Crazy Good Kitchen LLC. Everything about both LLCs is exactly the same members, same managers, same everything.
You two showed up within like 20 seconds of each other.
Okay, I'm sorry. So it's just a change of and I couldn't do a change of name because it hadn't been approved by the ABCC. So it's an amendment to the original application. Everything else being the same. And we met with the neighborhood groups in the mayor's office on the prior application. The same people are involved in both applications.
Thank you, Attorney Cassis. And thank you for working to get that corrected. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And where this has already been heard and approved by the board, we will move on to the next. Thank you, Attorney Cassis.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now calling item 11, new SS Group Inc., doing business as SS Market, located at 1283 River Street, has applied for a retail package store wines and malt beverages license to be exercised on the above. Manager Suman Kumar Nath. This item has also already been heard and approved by the board and is on the agenda today as a procedural matter to correct defects with the abutter notification. We do have Attorney Glenn Albrecht on the line in case there are any questions from the chair or the commissioners.
No questions for me.
None for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And again, where this matter has already been heard and approved by the board, we'll move on to item number 12. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now calling item 12, Huntington Avenue Market, Inc., doing business as Huntington Market, located at 818 to 820 Huntington Avenue, holder of a retail package store malt and wine license, has petitioned to change the category of this license from retail package store wines and malt beverage license to retail package store all alcoholic beverages license. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. As a reminder, can anybody please mute themselves if you are not speaking to the board? Thank you. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon representing the licensee. Signed on with us this morning is Harry Patol, who is the owner of the licensed establishment at 818 Huntington Ave. The proposal before you is to upgrade the existing beer and wine license at this location to include spirits. By way of background, this market has been here for decades and through generations, I know at least since the 60s, but Harry bought it and took it over in the beginning of 2020. Since that time, he's been an exemplary licensee and he's undertaken several renovations and upgrades, including an investment in new ceilings, floors, shelving, coolers, and he's also upgraded the market's offerings to include many new products and grocery items. The market actually was recognized this year by Main Streets and was the recipient of the Neighborhood Asset Award for their efforts within the community during the ongoing COVID pandemic. The market itself is a true small neighborhood market and convenience store. It's about 1,200 square feet and offers anything from dairy and drinks, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, to dry goods, cleaning supplies, snacks, medicine, even a small produce section. They definitely have a mix of clientele and the demographic varies, and they do their best to accommodate all of their customers with their requests and offerings, especially for commuters and those that live in the immediate vicinity, which is part and parcel to the request before you because several customers have inquired about them selling spirits. Their current hours of operation are 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week, and there are no changes proposed to that. As far as public need is concerned, as I mentioned, they have had several customers asking for this addition to their license, and as evidenced by the 200 plus signatures on the petition that were submitted to the board. A few other package store licenses are in the nearby vicinity, but they're over a quarter mile away. I think they measured out to a little over 0.3 miles near Brigham Circle. But none of those offer groceries and housewares like Huntington Market does. Additionally, the other package licenses that are up at Brigham Circle are on the other side of the street. So this particular market is really a great asset to the community and serves a true community purpose, and they're seeking to maintain the convenience aspect of that. To this point, we did hold an abutters meeting and a meeting with the Community Alliance of Mission Hill. Both meetings had several people in strong support, including immediate residential and business abutters, with comments made that they've been going to this store since they've been a kid. The current owners have improved every aspect of the store, including installed more lighting and cleaning up the storefront. It's been a long time local shop since the 60s, and they'd like to see that tradition to continue. They go to the store every day and the owners make them feel like part of the community. And there is definitely a strong desire to support local merchants, making note that the owners provide anything that they can within their ability to, or that people have asked for. We did commit with the Community Alliance of Mission Hill that there would be no nips for sale if they were granted the addition of spirits to their license. And I will note last that as far as security is concerned, they do have 16 different cameras in the store, and they have recently purchased the latest ID science scanner, which I know that the ABCC and I believe the board are strong fans and advocates of, especially in retail package stores, so that they're making sure they're checking IDs properly. So that said, happy to answer any questions or concerns the board might have.
Thank you. You covered all of my questions and concerns, and thank you for outlining and taking the time to spell out the public need there on behalf of your client. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
I don't. Thank you.
Not at the moment, thank you.
Great, thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Our office would like to go on record in support of this proposal. We did host an abutters meeting on September 22nd. There are a few concerns, but I've received a number of letters of support from the community, which I'll be happy to forward to the board if you haven't received any of those. And like Attorney Scanlon mentioned, they also received a vote of support from the Community Alliance of Mission Hill. So our office would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thanks, Molly.
Thank you. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement.
Could I actually say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Walsh.
I'm just a patron of the store, but I've been going there for like to his brother's store for like a couple of years. And Harry was always a great man. Like you come in the store, he smiles right away. And it's just a great store to go to. It's a really good vibe. And like the lawyer person before me said, like you really feel at home there, and you really do. It's like a really good store, I would say.
Great. Thank you for that. And I also see a note of support in the chat as well. So thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Hickey, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to support Harry and his wish to upgrade his license. I've been living here for the better part of 5 years. And I think it's important for the stores, the local stores to improve as much as they can and upgrade. But I think, and they're very good with their security. I've been carded twice. I'm 54 years old. When I first went in there, when Harry just took over, and then just recently he has a new clerk working the store, and she carded me because she had no idea who I was. So even though you look the age, so I don't think there'll be an issue security as far as purchasing. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I think it's important for the local merchants to have a variety of options. And he's done a great job improving the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I see an additional note of support from Lorena in the chat as well. Oh, I see another raised hand. Mark, are you trying to speak on this matter? No, that might have just been a mistake. All right, I'll mute you. All right, are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Mark, are you raising your hand again?
Is Harry here? I don't see him as I scroll through. He doesn't have to be here, but I just wanted to see him.
I know he was logging in. I don't know if maybe.
Oh, Harry's here.
Okay.
I'm here. Okay.
Oh, there you are. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you saw the comments in the chat in support.
Yep.
Thank
you.
I do see a raised hand from Daniel Powell, so I will ask you to unmute.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for hosting this. I just want to express my support for the guys across the street at Huntington Market. They've been great neighbors since Gennaro left. I'm a long-time Mission Hill resident, and I live right across the street from Huntington Market, actually. So just wanted to express my support.
Great, thank you for that. And are there any additional individuals who would wish to testify on this matter? Seeing, I don't see your name on here, Galaxy A20. Can you please state your name and your testimony? I think you need to
Hi, my name is Arabelis, and I live across the street from Huntington Market. And I lived there for years, and I support Henry. He's really nice and very friendly, and he got everything. And if you don't have anything you're looking for, we just tell him, and he bring it to the store, no matter if it is liquor or food or whatever. But at least he's friendly, and it's really improving. The community is improving, so I support him, all the way. He make a big change in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. We're getting a lot of testimony in this one. This is very nice. I see one more raised hand here from Antoinette Lasser. I'm going to unmute you now.
Yes, hi, good morning. My name is Antoinette Lasser. I just, want to support Harry in this matter. I've been a resident 15 years, and it's just the renovation alone has been tremendous.
Okay.
Great, thank you. All right, are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Okay, thank you, everybody, for your testimony. The board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you, everybody. We'll now be calling item number 13, Marriott Hotel Services, Inc., doing business as Boston Marriott Hotel Copley, located at 110 Huntington Ave. Holder of an in-holder all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed business from in whole set of building, excluding the restaurant space on the second floor, formerly operated as Champions, containing approximately 12,535 square feet and 297 square feet in basement, to 858,056 square feet over 40 floors, including basement and mezzanine, in a whole of said building, excluding the restaurant space on the second floor, operated as Yard House Restaurant, and the space formerly known as the Connection Lounge. Attorney Joseph Devlin. And Attorney Devlin, do I understand correctly that this is the same transactional matter as item 14?
Yeah, this is the predicate application. That's the next one is conditioned upon.
Okay, then I will call item 14 as well, since they're of a package.
Great.
Now calling item 14 as well, Yard House USA, doing business as Yard House, located at 110 Huntington Ave. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed business from the premises consist of the former location space known as Champions at the Boston Marriott Hotel Copley on the second floor, containing approximately 12,535 square feet and 297 square feet in basement of hotel, seating capacity 289. 2, located in the former restaurant space known as Champions at the Boston Marriott Hotel Copley on the second floor, containing approximately 15,042 square feet, including 2,210 square feet lounge and 297 square feet in basement of hotel, 2 dining rooms and bar area, total seating capacity 349. Attorney Devlin, you may now go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Joe Devlin for the Marriott Hotel Services, and then the following application, the Yard House USA Inc. I'm a partner at Upton, Connell and Devlin with offices at 112 Water Street in Boston, Massachusetts. The first application is to remove this space that's known as the Connection Lounge, which was serviced and used by this Champions restaurant when it was run by the hotel. Originally, the application or the development of this Yard House in the Marriott, it was there was some time pressure because the marathon was coming to Boston, and they wanted to be open for that, both the hotel and Yard House. So they largely went into the space that Champions and went in as Champions, had it. They didn't really do the development to turn it completely into a Yard House concept. So that's phase 2, because it's a little more involved. It has to go through inspectional services, and it's probably going to take 6 to 9 months. So that's what we're here for now. As part of it, they want to add the Connection Lounge space, which is immediately adjacent to what is now the Yard House space. In order for that to work, the Yard House, they had to do some construction. There's a half wall along the circular dining area, and they needed to open that up and move the entranceway there so that to connect the Connection Lounge and the circular dining area. In connection with that also, they are remodeling the interior space. Right now, it's if you look at the old plan, it's partitioned into 3 separate rooms, 3 separate dining areas. Over the course of the next several months, they'll be taking down the walls in there to make it one open space and one open dining area. There's also an expansion to the bar, which currently seats 14. And there it's going to be slightly bigger to seat 20. There was one scrivener's error. The plan that's included in the Yard House USA Inc. application shows 364 seats, but on the application, we had 349 seats. So I have sent to Boston Licensing this morning a revised page 1 showing that 364 seats instead of the 349. We did consult with NAB, but they sent us back an email as we knew they were, that they don't take a position on things that are wholly within the Prudential or Copley malls, which this is. And we also sent that on to the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services and received confirmation from Molly there that they don't take that NAB doesn't take that position. So we're here to answer any questions you might have. The opening and the event for the marathon the hotel did really well. It was one of the first times that they were completely occupied, and the Yard House did very well as well. So it was a success in that regard. So this is phase 2, and they'll probably be done in about 6 to 9 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification this morning. Commissioner Curran, Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on items 13 or 14, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Councillor Flink's office. We would like to comment on item 14. The councillor would like to oppose due to lack of community process and engagement with neighbors and their representatives about their project. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on either of these items? Okay, and Attorney Devlin, just so you know, we did receive that revised page 1, so thank you for sending that over. And hearing no additional testimony, the board will take items 13 and 14 under advisement. Thank you. Now calling item 15, Delta Airlines, Inc., doing business as Delta Sky Club, located at Logan Airport Terminal A, East Boston, holder of an airport general on-premises all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to amend the description of the licensed business from Logan Airport Terminal A, one room located on the 3rd level of the satellite building, and one room located on the 3rd level of the main building above security checkpoint, each partitioned with one conference room, office, kitchen prep area, and storage area, to Logan Airport Terminal A, one room located on the 3rd level of the main building above security checkpoint, each partitioned with one conference room, office, kitchen prep area, and storage area. Attorney Joseph Devlin. Attorney Devlin.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, this is largely a housekeeping matter. I was here 2 years ago. There's 2 clubs in Gate A for Delta. They're covered by one license. So the main club license covers both licenses, main and auxiliary. 2 years ago, I got a new license right before the pandemic for the space immediately adjacent to the auxiliary club license. So with the idea that over 3 phases, eventually this auxiliary club, the current space, would be incorporated into that license. So this is housekeeping that got delayed. And so they are going to move into that new space in a couple of weeks, which is already licensed. So the old Southwest club space, they're going to move in, they're going to move their auxiliary club operations into that space, into the new licensed space. Then they're going to go work on this old auxiliary license space. And then I'll come in a couple of months and put the old space into the new license. But as a predicate to doing that, I need to take the old auxiliary space out of the main club's license. And I just didn't want to forget about it. So I knew I was going to be here. So I decided to do it now.
Thank you, Attorney Devlin. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Now calling item 16, Las Palmas Market, Inc., doing business as Las Palmas Market, located at 13 Chelsea Street in East Boston. Holder of a retail package store wine and malt beverages license has petitioned to change the category of this license from retail package store wine and malt beverages license to retail package store all alcoholic beverages license. Lastly, has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Mirza Perez to Wilfredo Palma Plaitez. Attorney Gene Charney. Attorney Charney?
Yes. Gene Charney. I represent Las Palmas Market. This is a small convenience type store catering to the Latin community and the Caribbean community in East Boston. Currently, they have a malt and beer license, and we're seeking to expand to all alcohol, not with the intent of selling Johnny Walker Black or bourbon or vodkas, primarily to have some of those liquors from the primarily rum, flavored rums, and specific small batch rums from Guatemala, Honduras, and Costa Rica. There's been a lot of but requests from the community members. Where this market is in an area that, again, is largely Latin, Hispanic residents, and they have asked repeatedly Mr. Plaitez if he could expand and have these liquors, these rums that are not readily available at your Blanchard's or Macy's liquor stores. So that's what the intent of this is. The liquor would be behind the cashier's counter, accessible only by the cashier upon request, and proper identification would have to be shown, of course, following all ABCC rules and regulations to access this alcohol. There would be no nips because these bottles don't come in nips as well. As for the change of manager, Ms. Perez is no longer affiliated with the business, and Mr. Plaitez is going to step in as the manager.
Thank you very much. And I see that he's joined us today.
Yes.
Mr. Palma, is your last name Palma or Plaitez?
Plaitez.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Are you a citizen?
Yes.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the rules and regs of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
No further questions. Thank you.
Not for me, thank you.
If I may add, we did have a meeting with Boston Neighborhood Services, and there was no opposition. Actually, there was some support for this application. I don't know if any of the supporters are currently present, but I'm sure that's a question that will be asked by the board.
Thank you. Yep, we'll move to testimony right now, actually. So are there any individuals present who wish to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague. So there was a butters meeting on October 28th, and there was support received from the community, and they also received support from East Boston Main Streets. So our office would like to go on record in support of this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now calling item 17, Davis Aerosmith Inc., doing business as Industry, located at 750 to 754 Adam Street in Dorchester. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned for a change of officers, directors. Secondly, has petitioned for a change of stock interest. Lastly, has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Martin Davis to David Aerosmith. Attorney Carolyn Conway, this one is yours, I presume?
Yes, this one is mine. Good morning
Attorney
again,
Conway.
Madam Chair, members of the board. I have with me today Mr. David Aerosmith. As the board's records will reflect, when this licensee first opened, it was a 50-50 split between Mr. Martin Davis and Mr. David Arrowsmith. At the time, they executed a cross-purchase agreement in case something happened to either one of them, and unfortunately, Mr. Davis has died. So pursuant to the cross-purchase agreement that we have submitted with the application, Mr. Arrowsmith has purchased the 50% interest from the estate of Martin Davis and is now becoming all officers, all directors, and sole shareholder with respect to that. He is becoming manager of record. He is a citizen of the United States, a resident of the Commonwealth, and having run the business for many years now, has experience in the business. He has also, I want to say to the board, in the last, since reopening after the pandemic, built up a great management team, and we're looking forward to becoming more and more successful as it goes on. But this is the circumstances under which, unfortunately, Mr. Davis's interest is going.
Thank you, and thank you for covering the manager, some of the manager record questions. Is Mr. Arrowsmith, is that you, David A?
Yes, David, you're muted.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm just going to go over the manager record questions one more time. I think your attorney covered them, but just to be sure, are you a resident?
Yes, I am.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth? Are you a citizen?
I am.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes, I do.
And are you familiar with the rules and regs of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Attorney Conway. Sorry for your loss, Mr. Arrowsmith.
Thank you.
Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
None, thank you.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now calling item 18, Finn Investments LLC, located at 200 High Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to High Street LLC at the same location. Mark Wilcox Smith, manager, 2 a.m. closing hour, attorney Dennis Quilty. Attorney Quilty.
Good morning, Mr. Green, Madam Chair, members of the board. Thank you very much. Here representing the High Street LLC, which is the landlord entity at this property. This is a very similar application to one which we made about 2 weeks ago for Luca Back Bay, wherein the licensee in this case vacated the premises without notice to the landlord, leaving a great deal of rent in arrears. The landlord took the matter to Suffolk Superior Court and received a judgment ordering the licensee to pay the amounts due. The licensee has agreed to transfer the license in return for the forgiveness, if you will. And this entity will simply be a placeholder, and our proposed manager of record, Mr. Smith, who's here this morning, has experience, is a citizen of the United States and the Commonwealth. His experience in the business is limited to the landlord's interest in this site. However, this site is actually proposed to be a use which will not allow a license to be on the site, and therefore the interest of the landlord is to immediately sell this license from this location. But of course, they had to receive approval from yourselves and the ABCC to get it into their name to do so. So we fully expect that in the very near future, there will be a full transfer application filed for this license to be removed from this location. We did contact Neighborhood Services and reached out to the Wharf District Council to inform them as to what we were doing, and there were no objections. At this time, we fully understand that any other transfer will require full community process. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Attorney Quilty. I think this is another example of how COVID has impacted small businesses in our community.
Exactly.
Do you have any idea, even just a very broad time frame of when the next transfer would be?
I can only say that that the landlord is desirous of leasing the space to a use which will not allow for a liquor license to be held there.
Okay.
So it's in their interest to get this done as quickly as humanly possible. And I know there are lots of folks out there looking for licenses, so we should be able to. I mean, I'm hopeful in 30 to 60 days, but it's going to be done as quickly as we can.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
None, thank you.
I do not, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague, John Romano. Our office would like to go on record in support of this proposal. Like Attorney Quilty mentioned, the applicant has reached out to the Wharf District Council and received support from the community. And we just request that when a new operator is identified, to go through the complete community process, like was said earlier. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Councilor Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now calling item 19, CRT Food and Beverage Inc., doing business as Whiskey's Steakhouse and Saloon, located at 885 Boylston Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license and the location from the above to Mecha Noodle Bar Boston LLC, doing business as Mecha Noodle Bar, located at 44 Thompson Place. Premise consists of 2,674 total square feet on ground floor in one main room with dining area, bar seating, and mezzanine level seating. Main entrance exit on Thompson Place, additional exit in rear, kitchen and storage in rear, closing hour 12:30 a.m. Charith N. Jayasekara, manager. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Again, Kristen Scanlon representing the applicant. Signed on with us this morning are Tony Pham, who's one of the owners, along with Richard Reyes, who couldn't be here with us today, as well as the proposed manager of record, CJ Jayasekara, which I hope I pronounced okay. The application before you is for a transfer of a license from Back Bay to this 4-point location, 44 Thompson Place. By way of background, this is a concept that was originally born in Connecticut. They currently have 5 locations, and they're excited to add Boston and Brookline, which was recently approved as their first forays into Massachusetts. The concept is a Southeast Asian comfort food concept specializing in Japanese ramen and Vietnamese pho. The owners, Tony and Richard, are 2 seasoned and experienced restaurateurs. They come from a family of restaurateurs and own a total of 9 restaurants between them. They are respectively sons of Vietnamese and Latino immigrants. Mecha actually is Vietnamese for mom and pop, and they specialize in these broth-based noodle dishes that are Vietnamese and Japanese style. They also serve other street foods from those cuisine traditions like bubble tea, bao, egg rolls, and dumplings. It's definitely a family restaurant where parents and kids can enjoy noodles paired with a glass of wine at an affordable price point, with $19 being the average price. As far as the logistics of the restaurant are concerned, the square footage is approximately a little over 2,700 square feet. There's no outdoor seating proposed, and seating for approximately 110. The hours of operation proposed are daily from 11:30 to 12:30. They're seeking the ability to have a little bit of a later closing hour in an urban market, but I will note they do close earlier in Connecticut several nights of the week, and may very well close earlier at this location depending on the demand in the neighborhood. As far as public need is concerned for this location, as I previously indicated, it is a unique Southeast Asian concept that doesn't currently exist in the neighborhood. They're filling a vacant storefront, creating jobs in the area. And this is really more of an affordable restaurant for the surrounding area and other offerings within the neighborhood. For the owners and what their vision is for expanding Mecha, they want to definitely be in a community-based city focused on community action. And their mission is really to take taste and tradition and transform it into pride and progress through interpretations of Southeast Asian comfort food in a high energy, fun, communal environment. We did meet with as far as community outreach is concerned, we did meet with the 4 Point Neighborhood Association back earlier this summer, who was supportive of the concept itself, but I know they had a concern about the proposed 12:30 closing hour. As previously indicated, Mecha is seeking the ability to serve food a little bit later, but depending on demand in the neighborhood, may close earlier in the week. The later closing hour is requested to accommodate, again, their first foray into a larger urban market, as well as accommodate any private events or buyouts that they might have in the space. I would like to know, and I think it's worth noting, that of the 9 closest restaurants to this location, most have a posted closing hour of 2 a.m., a few with 1 a.m., and only one with 11 p.m., which is nearby Trillium, whose business is fundamentally different from Mecha. Trillium's capacity is nearly 4 times that proposed for Mecha. The draw of visitors is predominantly alcohol based on its popular craft brews, and also has an outdoor patio component with a live entertainment component. Mecha is ultimately a noodle house with roughly 15% of sales attributed to alcohol sales with no entertainment or outdoor component. And additionally, they have the smallest capacity and earliest closing hour proposed in the neighborhood besides Trillium. So under the circumstances, we believe the closing hour requested is reasonable in light of this. Their anticipated opening is spring of 2022. And with that being said, happy to answer any questions or concerns the board might have regarding this application.
Thank you, Attorney Scanlon. So thank you for explaining that and describing the public need. I'm going to ask the manager, Mr. Jaya Sakira. Are you already, this is the first Boston location, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so are you a citizen?
Yes.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes, I am.
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
Yes, I do.
Are you familiar with the rules and regs of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for joining us. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
No further questions. Thanks.
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, testifying on behalf of my colleague, Dylan. Our office would like to go on record in support of this proposal, and like Attorney Scanlon mentioned, they met with the 4 Point Neighborhood Association and tried to address the little concerns that that group raised. So our office would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
On behalf of the chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Councilor Flink's office. Please note, Councilor Flink remains generally supportive of the project. However, neighbors and the 4 Point Neighborhood Association have been unable to come to an agreement with the proponent on the closing time. The councilor will respectfully request that the vote be deferred to provide more time for the neighbors and proponent to come to a good faith compromise on this outstanding issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Hi, Danny. Tom Reddy. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Tom Reddy. I'm a resident of Wormwood Street in Fort Point and a member of the FP&A, the Neighborhood Association that's been referred. We represent the residents of the South Boston waterfront, and we'd like to go on record as opposed to the application as it's currently submitted. As mentioned, the proponent presented to our neighbors in our June 29th neighborhood meeting. We're not aware of any abutters meetings occurring, and it should be noted that ONS was not able to attend that particular June meeting. In that meeting and in subsequent follow-on correspondence with the applicant, we expressed concern over the proposed closing hours. We requested the closing hours be aligned with other establishments, particularly on Thompson Place with an 11 p.m. closing time, at least for the first year. We also raised some concerns on curbside management, particularly with food delivery pickups. The proposed location is adjacent to a Trader Joe's grocery store, and it, as you could well imagine, the number of vehicles that come and go from that location can be pretty high, especially around the 6 p.m. timeframe. We do believe, though, that that situation can be mitigated with appropriate curbside management practices. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Okay, seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you. Now calling item number 20, Auditorium Cafe Inc., doing business as The Pour House, located at 909 Boylston Street. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to 907 Boylston Street LLC, doing business as The Pour House at the same location. Charles G. Hitchcock III, manager, 2 a.m. closing hour. Lastly, has petitioned for an approval of a management agreement between 907 Boylston Street LLC and C&R Hospitality Managers LLC. Attorney John Aida. Attorney Aida.
Good morning. Thank you, Executive Secretary Green, Madam Chair, members of the board, John Aida, McDermott, Quilty, and Miller, 28 State Street in Boston, on behalf of the applicant. This is a transfer of the license at the existing location and request for approval of a management agreement. Joining me this morning is Charles Talanian. He's the ultimate beneficial interest holder, and Charles Hitchcock III, who is a member manager of the management company, as well as the proposed manager of record. Mr. Talanian has been doing business in the Back Bay for over 50 years, and he was a part owner of the prior licensee, Auditorium Cafe Inc., which had done business as the Pour House for 34 years at this location. Fortunately, due to the pandemic, that business did close, and so we're excited to be able to bring back that business. This is a license that's being acquired through bankruptcy. I see in attendance is Kate Nicholson. Kate Nicholson is the attorney representing the bankruptcy trustee. If you had any specific questions regarding that, but there is an approved order of sale from the bankruptcy court, and the assets of the Pour House are being acquired by Mr. Talanian's company, the applicant. And we are, bringing on board the management company to operate the day-to-day operations. Mr. Hitchcock has prior experience in the restaurant industry. He has over 17 years experience. He has worked in the past at House of Blues, McGreevy's, and Two Saints Tavern here in Boston. He is previously approved as a manager of record through the board. So just to reiterate and to confirm, he's a U.S. citizen and a Massachusetts resident, and he is familiar with the rules and regulations of the board, the laws of the Commonwealth, and the regulations of the ABCC as it pertains to sale and service of alcohol. His partner, Ron Lucio, also has over 25 years experience in the restaurant industry. So combined, they have over 40 years experience. For the actual day-to-day operations, we're not reinventing the wheel here. They're going to operate as the Pour House had operated successfully in the past. They will be open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner service. And there's no changes in the floor plan or anything else. So hopefully it's going to be, business as usual as, pre-pandemic. And, the last thing to report is we do have a scheduled meeting in front of the Neighborhood Association of Back Bay this upcoming Monday, which we will be attending at that time and answering any questions that the Neighborhood Association may have. But it is a transfer of an existing license at the same location. And I'll open it up if there's any questions.
Thank you, Attorney Aida. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Carr and Commissioner Saxon.
No questions. Thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Great. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. We would request that the board hold the vote until the applicant meets with the Neighborhood Association of the Back Bay to address any concerns or questions that they have. And I believe they'll be meeting December 6th, but I see Conrad's going to speak, so thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other elected officials or their representatives who would like to testify? Okay, moving on to other individuals. I see Conrad Armstrong with the hand raised. I will ask you to unmute.
Hi, whoops.
Hi, Connor Armstrong, 439 Marble Street, representing Neighborhood Association of Back Bay. As was mentioned, the applicant is meeting with us on Monday. I do expect to be able to email NAB's final decision to the board and to the applicant the morning of December 10th.
Thank you for that. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now calling item 21, BL Restaurant Operations LLC, doing business as Bar Louie Tavern and Grill, located at 121 Brookline Avenue. Holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license has petitioned to transfer the license from the above to BAM Hospitality LLC, doing business as Fenway Marriott Residence Inn at the same location. Corey Hayes, manager, 2 a.m. closing hour. Attorney Daniel Johnston. Attorney Johnston.
Madam Chair, members of the board, my name is Dan Johnston. I'm an attorney at Sharon & Lodgen, and we represent the applicant with this application. I'm joined today by the proposed manager of record, Corey Hayes, as well as counsel for the transferor, Carl Stammen. This is a little bit of an interesting application. As you may be aware, Bar Louie used to be operating at this location, but they went bankrupt. So the owner of the building and the operator of the hotel entered into a purchase and sale agreement to buy the license from Bar Louie. The owner had a tenant for this space, and actually that tenant, that was Bar Romana, had submitted an application for a transfer of this license a couple months ago, but they have now backed out and have withdrawn that application. So in the interim, while to give the applicant a little bit more time to find a tenant and to fulfill its obligations under the purchase and sale agreement, they're asking for a transfer of this license to them, and hopefully we'll find a tenant for the space and can transfer it then to that tenant. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Attorney Johnston. I still have to ask the manager of record questions of Mr. Hayes. Mr. Hayes, are you a citizen?
Yes.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes,
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
I do.
Are you familiar with the rules and regs of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions, Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
No further questions. Thank you.
None, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, our office would like to go on record in support. We just ask that the applicant continue to work with the community going forward, especially with the Fenway Civic Association. Yeah, that's all.
Thanks, Molly.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? I see Alex Sawchinek, I hope I pronounced that okay, has a hand raised.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, my name is Alex Sawchinek. I'm a board member of the Fenway Civic Association. We communicated, I guess it sounds like, with the previous group of interest in September. So I'm actually a little unclear because I don't think we received an update since then. The only concern that Fenway Civic had with the business model that was being proposed in September was around the 2 a.m. closing hours. So from what it sounds like from Attorney Johnson, this is just a procedural move for now, but FCA would like to note for the record that we actually had come to an agreement with the prior group of interest, the Bar Romana LLC group, that they would pull back from the 2 a.m. 7 days a week closing hours. So we had agreed with them that they would do Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m., Friday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And those were hours that FCA found more agreeable and more consistent with other similar restaurants in that direct vicinity. So we would ask that those hours go into the record for whichever group ends up taking over this space. FCA would like to continue to be in the loop and speak with whichever group ends up coming forward. But those hours are amenable to FCA.
Okay, just to clarify, I believe the 2 a.m. closing is attached to this particular license. So when they come back to the community, that could be a discussion you have at the community level.
That's correct, and we were told that at the time, and we felt from a community perspective that 2 a.m. 7 days a week was a little onerous. And as I said, the business group at that time, Bar Romana LLC, was amenable to changing those to the hours that I had stated.
Okay, I just wanted to make that clear for the record. I don't have any other comments.
Thank you. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Yeah. Stephanie Boudreau, did you unmute yourself to speak on this behalf?
Nope, just because I'm next.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you. So seeing no further testimony on this item, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now calling item number 22, Finista LLC, doing business as Finista, located at 96 Peterborough Street, has applied for a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above approximately 400 square feet of ground floor restaurant space, seating for 24, with 1 bathroom and no bar, office space, or storage. Patio located on private property directly adjacent to front of cafe to be used annually, with hours for restaurant and patio to be 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 4 outdoor tables planned with allocated patio seating for approximately 16. Manager fee FAM, closing time 12 a.m. Attorney Stephanie Boudreau. Attorney Boudreau.
Thank you. Good morning, Stephanie Boudreau, attorney at our law and counsel for the applicant, Finista LLC. Here with me is Fee Pham, who is the proposed manager of record. Finista is here seeking approval of its application for an all alcohol liquor license to be exercised at 96 Peterborough Street. Currently, Finista is operating a local coffee and tea cafe with a cold kitchen serving light Vietnamese fare. For context, the name Finista is a combination of Fin, which is a coffee brewing tool in Vietnamese, and the word barista. While the small cafe feel of Finista won't change, Finista is hoping to turn its cafe into a loungy sort of place in the evenings, serving tapas and integrating Asian flavors into cocktails to bring more variety into the Fenway area. As for public need, and in contrast to what most of Fenway offers, Finista's plan is to have a more intimate setting for folks to come in and relax in a quieter atmosphere. And the Fenway Neighborhood Association has given the concept its full approval. The proposed premises consists of 400 square feet on the ground floor, seating indoors for 24, and a patio with seating for 16. The proposed closing hours are 12 a.m. The proposed manager of record is Fee Pham. He is a Boston resident and a U.S. citizen. He's been tip certified and will be on site at least 40 hours a week. And he is here, as am I, to answer any questions the board may have. Thank you.
Is he right next to you, or is he on the Zoom somewhere else?
I know he
Hi.
is. Oh, hi. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Your attorney did cover the manager of record questions, so you're okay there. So you're seeking all alcohol for this space, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So what kind of drinks, what are you envisioning for your drink menu?
So we want to really focus on Vietnamese types of alcohol. Vietnam has a very distinguished, I would say, bar menu. So I want to integrate probably lychee. I want to integrate a lot of those dragon fruit flavors. Obviously in Boston, you know, you have lounges, you have different type of European bars, but I think Vietnamese or very Southeast Asian cuisine mixed with drinks are very, very, what is the word? Underserved.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
No problem.
Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Not at the moment, thank you.
Great. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Our office would like to go on record in support of this proposal. We hosted a butters meeting on November 15th, and no concerns were really raised at that meeting. And I know that the applicant has spoken with the Fenway Civic Association, so we just ask that they continue to work with them going forward and listen to the community if they have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter? I see Alex Sachinets with a hand raised.
Good morning again. Yeah, Alex Sachinets with the Fenway Civic Association. Just want to go on record to support this effort. Vanessa has been an exemplary neighbor ever since they took over the space. And as Phil mentioned, their cuisine and the type of food that they're looking to serve is indeed very underserved in this community. So it's definitely welcome in the neighborhood. They've been a pleasure to work with. We did discuss with them about making sure that they comply with the regulations to have a separate patio area that would be closed off to make sure that the alcohol doesn't get out into the area. Additionally, Vanessa also agreed to continue upholding their commitment to not have amplified outdoor music on their outdoor space, which is a strong position for Fenway Civic Association. It's certainly worth noting that other directly abutting restaurants do also have beer and wine and malt licenses. So while a liquor license might be a little bit different, it's certainly not unexpected in that area. It's called Restaurant Row there. So we do support Vanessa in this effort. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now calling item number 23, AOBH Inc., doing business as Broadway's Pastry, located at 258 West Broadway in South Boston, has applied for a common victular 7-day wines and malt beverages license to be exercised on the above in one room on first floor, 1,154 square feet, with kitchen running along the right side, bathrooms in rear, entrance in front, and emergency exit in rear. A banquette with chairs runs along the left side, total 16 seats. Manager Arian Heisenaj, closing time 11 p.m. Attorney Carolyn Conway. Attorney Conway.
Good morning again, members of the board. I have with me today Mr. Arian Heisenaj, who is the 100% owner and proposed manager of record for Broadway Pastry, located at 258 West Broadway in South Boston. Broadway Pastry actually has been in business for close to 7 years now, providing pastries and different coffees and teas to the neighborhood. What Mr. Heisenaj is looking to do is to make a North End style coffee shop serving alcohol like the North End, say, for example, the Cafe Vittoria or the Cafe Paradiso. There is nothing like it along West Broadway, and we would submit even East Broadway. Mr. Heisenaj for many years was the owner of the L Street Diner, which was the holder of a beer and wine license. He was the manager of record of the L Street Diner, and throughout his tenure there, never had one violation. He is a citizen and a resident of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We've met with, we had an abutters meeting, and we met with the St. Vincent's Neighborhood Association. At the time, it was their executive committee, to propose this idea, because what we want to do, we want to go towards the more mature people in the neighborhood. This is the type of place that we want people to come to for, say, dessert after dinner, or after you've gone Christmas shopping, to come and sit and have a glass of wine in the afternoon. We're not going towards the younger set. We're actually looking to get the people that live around us to come in, have coffees. What Mr. Heisenaj is prepared to do, besides do some more cosmetics, but he's also brought in a new pastry chef from Mike's Pastry in the North End, who will be making pastries, and he will be teaching Mr. Heisenaj's employees to make the pastries on site. All the pastries will be made on site. So what as I said, what we're looking to do is to serve our immediate area, serve the neighbors there and give them something that's not there in the neighborhood right now, which is an upscale coffee shop, basically, that serves alcoholic beverages. I believe that we have people here in support for us, and we can answer any questions of the board. And as I said, Mr. Heisenich has real experience in this industry already, and he's looking to take this and move it up to the next level for the neighborhood.
Thank you, Attorney Conway. Mr. Heisenich, your attorney covered the first three manager record questions, but just to get the last one on the record, are you familiar with the rules and regulations of this
Yes, I am.
board, BCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as it pertains to the sale and service of alcohol? Okay.
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No further questions, thanks.
Nothing at the moment. Thank you.
Great. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin with the Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague, Haley Dillon. Like Attorney Conway mentioned, there wasn't a butters meeting held and no real concerns raised by the community. And they met with the Civic Association, so our office would like to go on record in support of this proposal. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board, Ana Calderon from Councilor Flink's office. The councilor would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Pierce Martin. I work for Senator Nick Collins' office. The senator would also like to go on record in support of the project. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Quinn Valsich on behalf of City Councilor at Large, Michael Flaherty. The council would like to go on record in support of this project as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on this matter?
Yes, Mitchell Starr. I'm the director butter. I live at 254 West Broadway. I've been here 16 years. Ari has been next door for 7. He's been a fantastic neighbor. I think it's a wonderful concept for the neighborhood, and I heartily support it.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify? I think I saw a raised hand. Mark C. Yep, go ahead.
My name is Mark Murphy. I live on Douglas Street in South Boston. Been a longtime customer of Mr. Heisenich's various establishments in South Boston, and I support this application.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Now calling item number 24, East Boston BBQ LLC, doing business as the Smoke Shop BBQ, located at 45 Lewis Street, East Boston, has applied for a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above 4,034 square feet total on ground floor in 2 rooms seating for 102, including 1 main dining room and 1 bar room with bar seating, bar dining seating, and bar rail. Kitchen storage and offices located in rear. Year-round outdoor patio, weather permitting, on private property, seating for 116. Patio closing hour 11 p.m. Manager Amy Magner, closing time 1 a.m. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Good morning again, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon for the applicant. Signed on with us this morning are Andy Husbands, who's one of the chef owner and one of the owners of the proposed concept, as well as Amy Magner, who is the proposed manager of record and an individual that has been previously approved by this board and the ABCC as a manager of record. The application before you this morning is for a new restaurant with a request for any available all alcohol beverage license. By way of background, Andy's partner is Brian Lesser, and together they're longtime experienced restaurateurs and together own close to 24 restaurants. Andy is an award-winning chef and author and pitmaster behind the Smoke Shop. He's been on the competitive barbecue circuit for 20 years and is an incredibly notable chef in Boston for the past 3 decades and owning Trim on 647 for 20 years. The Smoke Shop barbecue has been a passion project of Andy's, and he loves it because, as he'll describe it, it's the world's most friendliest cuisine. It's comfortable and laid back. In 2009, he was actually part of a team that was the first non-Southern team to win the World Championship Barbecue in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Notably, they've also won for the last 3 years in a row Boston Magazine's Best Barbecue Restaurant, as well as other accolades as, for Best Barbecue from notable other news sources. The Smoke Shop Barbecue has current locations in Kendall Square, the Seaport District, Somerville's Assembly Row, and Harvard Square, as well as the recently opened Hub Hall. So this will be the 6th location, offering incredible barbecue as well as a unique whiskey program and collection of different offerings for customers, along with craft beers and cocktails. This isn't a roadhouse or a messy restaurant. It's good for anyone from college age to family to business meetings and gatherings. It offers a cool and casual environment at a great price. You get a lot for your money, which they're very proud of. And it's not necessarily a bar scene, but rather a good place for good drink, good food at a reasonable price. And they also offer catering and cater to events. As far as logistics are concerned, the seating proposed for inside is 102, outside on private property for 116, with a total anticipated occupancy of approximately 240 people. And the hours proposed are 10:30 to 1 a.m. daily. As far as public need is concerned, this particular area on the East Boston waterfront is part of a pretty new development area with hundreds of new residential units, several large buildings going up, and it's part of the planned retail programming for the area. So they're filling in the planned retail need for this area, or part and parcel of it, and one of the leaders of that. There's no restaurants currently in this latest development area on the East Boston waterfront, so it's definitely a benefit for new residents in the area as well as the surrounding community. And additionally, there's no barbecue restaurant concepts in the neighborhood, which will certainly add a noteworthy new restaurant concept to the area that's both approachable and affordable. And of course, goes without saying that they'll be creating jobs for East Boston residents and outside of East Boston as well. As far as community outreach is concerned, we did hold an abutters meeting, which was lightly attended, but attended with supporters, along with a meeting with the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association, which I know they submitted a letter in support of the concept as well. A spring 2022 opening is anticipated. And with that being said, happy to answer any questions or concerns the board might have.
Thank you, Attorney Scanlon. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon, do you?
None for me, thank you.
I do not, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Molly Griffin with the Office of Neighborhood Services. Like Attorney Scanlon mentioned, there was an abutters meeting held on September 21st with support from abutters, and also they received support from the Maverick Central Neighborhood Association. So our office would like to go on record and support as well. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. This is Yamina Lashmi from the Office of Boston City Councilor Lydia Edwards. The councilor would like to go on record in support of this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you. And now calling item 25, Love Child LLC, doing business as Love Child, located at 364 West Broadway, South Boston, has applied for a retail package store all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised on the above in one room on ground floor, main entrance and exit on West Broadway, storage in basement. Crystal Mills manager, closing hour 7 p.m. Manager Crystal Mills, closing time 7 p.m. Attorney Kristen Scanlon. Attorney Scanlon.
Good morning again, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon for the applicant. Signed on with us, it looks like together this morning, are the owners of this concept, Crystal Mills and Colleen Dunleavy. Crystal is the proposed manager of record. And the proposal before you this morning is for a new off-premises all alcohol license at their existing retail shop, Love Child, at 364 West Broadway in South Boston. The owners, as I mentioned, Colleen, she's a South Boston resident, and Crystal is an East Boston resident, met in 2015 as two young entrepreneurs. Colleen is a florist and a speech language pathologist, and Crystal started a catering company specializing in cocktail parties. In January of 2020, they decided to marry the two businesses, and so was formed Love Child. Their first location was on was still in South Boston, but is at 317 East Street. And although the pandemic shuttered some of their original plans, they expanded and invested in their current location on West Broadway in April of this year. The larger, as I'll say, location has allowed them to really look at what they've built and how it can be more of a service to the neighborhood. I made the comment about larger because it's still quite a small shop. It's only about 835 square feet, and their existing hours of operation are 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., which will not change. As far as public need is concerned, this is a totally unique concept. There's nothing like it in the neighborhood, or frankly, that we're aware of anywhere in Boston. Their current operations offer a retail store for fresh and dried flowers and cocktail supplies, mixers, vintage glassware, bar equipment, pretty much everything, obviously, but the alcohol. They also offer creative workshops, which include floral arranging, cocktail making, calligraphy, and pottery, just to name a few. They enjoy hosting brand pop-ups in their shop for new and local brands of items that they carry in their store. And their goal is really to create an environment that's experiential for their visitors, where people can find high quality wines, beer, and sake at a variety of price points, along with all the other unique retail offerings that they have in the store. They, with their business, with this request and with the existing nature of their business, they want the community to feel their passion for hospitality and would like to have the opportunity and ability, to offer people ways, while offering perhaps a new hobby or interest to some people along the way. With that being said, I would hope the board agrees that this particular and unique concept really stands out from a traditional package store, despite the fact that the type of licensure that they seek is the same. It's really an added benefit to the neighborhood, providing a communal space and an experience for residents and visitors alike with reasonable hours of operation. As far as community outreach is concerned, Crystal and Colleen have conducted extensive outreach in the neighborhood. They've received several letters of support from immediate abutters, including residents and business owners, which were sent to the board. And we had several emails and communication with the St. Vincent's Neighborhood Association since June, but I've been told now they're requesting a meeting to occur next Tuesday. So we're amenable to deferral of the vote until next week after that meeting happens, just to ensure that we're addressing any last lingering questions or concerns that the community might have regarding this proposal.
Is this a request for a second meeting with the St. Vincent group?
This would be a first meeting. So from communications with ONS, we were directed to reach out to them. We've had a couple emails going back and forth since June, but a meeting was never requested or scheduled, but there has now been one scheduled in light of the hearing today. So we're happy to, we wanted to, with the hearing scheduled, go forward with the presentation to kind of nip any additional delay in the bud, but of course don't want to press forward if there's still lingering concerns that we might not be aware of until we have this meeting with them.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Attorney Scanlon. And you said that Crystal is already an approved manager of record? Or
no, that was Amy and the one before.
Okay. Okay, so Ms. Mills, are you a citizen?
Yes.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes,
Do you have experience in the food and beverage industry?
I do. Yes.
Are you familiar with the rules and regs of this board, the ABCC, and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Curran and Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No further questions for me. Thank you.
At the moment, thank you.
Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives?
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Molly Griffin with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, speaking on behalf of my colleague Haley Dillon. Our office would like to go on record in support of this proposal, but like Attorney Scanlon just mentioned, we request that the applicant works with the St. Vincent Neighborhood Association going forward to address any concerns or questions, but our office would like to go on record in support. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam of the Chair, members of the board. Ana Calderon from Councillor Flink's office. The councillor would like to respectfully request a deferral of the vote on this matter due to concerns public process. We've heard from neighbors from the St. Vincent's Lower End Neighborhood Association with concerns about another package stores in this area, as well as other neighbors who have expressed support for the concept. However, in the final analysis, there was no community meeting and public process is critical for the councilor. As a result, the proponent has agreed to meet with the St. Vincent's next week. At their meeting, we ask that the vote be deferred until the community has had a chance to provide feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any additional individuals who would like to testify on behalf of this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we will now go back and do a second call for item number 6. I see that Jonathan Hayes has joined us. So now calling item 6, Toasted Brothers BB LLC, doing business as The Friendly Toast, located at 35 Stanhope Street, holder of a common victular 7-day all alcoholic beverages license, has petitioned to change the manager of the licensed business from Douglas Michael Peel to Jonathan Hayes. Attorney Jennifer Aioli. Mr. Hayes, you may begin whenever.
Hi, yes, my name is Jonathan Hayes. I've been working at the back bay location for about 3.5 years now. Recently became GM, fully aware of all the rules and regulations. Just looking to move forward in my new role, and just trying to follow the proper procedures and protocols to get me there.
Okay, so Mr. Hayes, I'm just going to ask you the other manager of record questions just to get them on the record. Are you a citizen?
Yes, I am.
Are you a resident of the Commonwealth?
Yes.
And you did describe for us your experience. Are you familiar with the rules and regs of this board, the ABCC and the laws of the Commonwealth as they pertain to the sale and service of alcohol?
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Do either of the Commissioner Carr and Commissioner Saxon any questions from either of you?
None from me, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any individuals who would like to testify on this matter, beginning with elected officials or their representatives? Are there any other individuals who would like to testify on this matter? Seeing none, the board will take this under advisement. Thank you. And those are all of the items before the board today. Thank you very much, everybody.